At first, I kind of just tuned out the stimulus stuff. I assumed it wasn't going to apply to me or even you guys as business owners watching. Maybe it's $1,000, probably not eligible, but what I'm learning is that this is actually very different. And if you thought the way that I thought, then you're definitely going to want to listen up, because I just talked to my CPA about this and I'm going to do my best to relay you some of this information. But there are very high chances that if you are a business owner, you could be eligible for $10,000 and it doesn't even need to be paid back. And this video obviously requires a massive disclaimer. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I knew absolutely nothing about this. I just talked to my CPA and now I know a little bit about it, and I'm still fairly confused, to be honest, but I understand at least the next action steps and enough to hopefully point you in the right direction. But I am not a financial advisor. Talk to your CPA, your accountant, before doing any of this, but I will link the application below in the description. And if you think you would qualify, then you should definitely get your application in soon, because my understanding is that this is first come, first serve, and it will be limited. So there are two different programs that are going to apply to business owners. The first one is called PPP, which is Paycheck Protection Program. And then there is EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And this video right now is about the EIDL, because that is the one that is open right now, and that is the one that is very limited. And the PPP, as far as my understanding, is going to be something you're going to be applying through your bank, and that might be open by the time this video even goes up. Perhaps I'll do a video about that program next or soon, we'll see. But for now, this is about the EIDL, which is the one where you can potentially get $10,000 that wouldn't even need to be paid back. But my understanding of PPP is that it's actually going to be more attractive than the EIDL, but it's probably a bit more relevant to businesses that have employees. It has a lot more to do with payroll and being covered to your amount owed in salaries, plus I think 25% above that to kind of keep your expenses going. But that loan would be forgivable as well, meaning it does not need to be paid back. And those can be extremely large. I forget the exact figure, but much larger than 10,000. It really just depends on what the actual obligations of your business are. But you're definitely going to want to look into that one, probably more for the type of business that has employees on payroll. So for the EIDL, this is through the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration. They do business loans all the time, but this is a special program through the SBA, which is specific to this economic injury disaster, which is, this whole event right now is being considered a natural disaster, which makes it qualify for the special program. And this one gets a bit weird, because the thing is that the $10,000, and there's going to be several nuances to this, but the $10,000 is actually an advance on a loan. So when you're applying to the EIDL, technically you are applying for a loan up to $2 million based on, the operations of your business. But the $10,000 is a very quick, it's supposed to be within a couple of days, $10,000 advance to keep things afloat. So let me explain this the way my CPA explained it to me, and then also illuminate some of the controversy that's kind of going around about this right now. So the way I was explained it is that the $10,000 is an advance on the loan, like I said, which means that if you are approved for a larger loan, let's say you're approved for a $50,000 loan, that you would actually get a $40,000 additional payment, and that the $10,000 would have just been an upfront advance on your $50,000 loan, making the entire $50,000 now a loan that needs to be paid back over time. And by the way, this loan seems extremely favorable. It seems like it would be very low interest over a very long period of time, and even deferring the first, I believe, 6 or 12 months of payments. Now, what's interesting is if you're actually denied for the loan itself, that then you keep the $10,000 up front completely forgivable, meaning no payments need to be made. You keep that $10,000 stimulus, keep your business going, helps you. By the way, I should also mention, this is for businesses that have been affected negatively in some way due to what's going on. So if your business has increased due to this, you probably shouldn't apply. But talk to whoever you need to talk to see if your business is a fit for this. So if that is the case, then that means the PPP is going to be much more favorable, because it is a forgivable loan, whereas the EIDL is a loan that has to be paid back unless you're actually denied, and then you keep the $10,000 up front. Now that is where the controversy is, and I will shout out to Meet Kevin, who made a great video diving through the actual bill, and his interpretation of it is that the $10,000, if you get that $10,000, even if you are approved or denied, it should be yours outright. I will link that video down below. He dove deep into that and did a much better job than I can do on that particular subject right now. So I would just advise you to go watch that if you're looking for more information. But whether or not you're going to be eligible for the PPP, it seems like you might as well apply to EIDL. And you can apply for this if you have an S Corp, an LLC, even a sole proprietor, doing business as just yourself. You are still even eligible. Contractors, as far as I understand. And if you own multiple businesses, you can even apply for each business. So you might get 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, depends how many businesses you're actually running that are affected by the current situation. All right, so now let me show you exactly how to do this application. It's super quick. Hopefully I convinced you that this is something you should think about, and really ASAP, because it is a limited amount of loans that will be granted this. So get your applications in as soon as you think you are, eligible to get it, or at least apply. I don't think there's any real harm in just applying. I don't want to give any advice that you shouldn't, blah, blah, disclaimer, but it seems like you might as well apply if you are affected. So here's the application page, which is linked below in the description if you need quick access to it. And here it says it's going to take 2 hours and 10 minutes, which is not true. It might take a bit of time for you to research your numbers, but to actually fill out the form is literally like 5 minutes. So first thing is this verification, just to make sure that your business is eligible. And most likely you're going to fit into the first one, which is applicant is a business with not more than 500 employees. And then there are some more unique cases if anybody watching happens to fit into those, but most likely it's that top one. And then you just have to review and check these next things, which are pretty straightforward, just not doing any illegal activity, not lobbying, gambling, other things like that, which most likely you're going to check all of them. If that, unless you're doing those things, then, consult a professional. Next section is business information. This is probably what is going to take up the bulk of the time, though it is still pretty straightforward. So business legal name, that is of course the name of your legal business. Trade name, I assume that is if you are operating under any other business names. Your EIN or SSN, your organization type, what type of business you are incorporated as. If you are a nonprofit, if you are a franchise, and then this is where you have to, spend some time digging up your numbers, your gross revenues for the past 12 months prior to the date of the disaster. So this is not for the year of 2019, and this is probably the only place you have to really be careful on the application. This is for 1 year prior to January 31st. So we're really talking February 1st, 2019 to January 31st, 2020. So that is for your total revenue over that period, and then cost of goods sold for that same period of time. And to the best of my understanding, this is not all of your expenses. This is just cost of actual goods. So if you're selling physical products, this is your raw landed costs. The next handful here are not required and most likely not applicable to you, though if they are, then of course fill them out, but most likely not. And then it's just, your business address, your business email, when you established your business and when the current ownership you established that business. So most likely the same dates, what type of business you are in, which it's always hard on these things to find something that is exact, but just, do your best. Detailed business activity is just going to give you a even more granular breakdown of that. And then the total number of employees, which one is okay. Next section is business owner's information. This is, again, super straightforward. You just have to put your name, your phone, what your title is, most likely the owner. Ownership percentage, this is of course 100 if it is just your business entirely, or if you have a partnership, then you probably know what the answer is to that. Again, some more personal information here, your SSN, the owner of the business, US citizen, and your address, and the ability to add an additional owner if there is one. Oh, and up here right at the top, I almost missed this, is your business owned by a business entity? So if your business is not technically owned by you as an individual, but is owned by another shell company owning that, then you are going to have to put that your business is owned by another business. All right, and then additional information, this is already the end of it. That's how straightforward it is. Just a couple of quick questions, basically asking if you have any criminal offenses, which hopefully are no. If anyone assisted you on completing this application, don't put me. I'm just kidding. But this would be if you had like a CPA or lawyer or whatever, filling this out on your behalf. So most likely this is no if you're doing it yourself. This is absolutely key right here. I would like to be considered for an advance of up to $10,000. So I would have to assume that if you didn't click this, that then you're not applying for the $10,000 upfront, which would be, that would be hilariously awful if you submitted this and were approved, but just didn't get that. I don't know. So this is what is going to actually give you that money up front, I assume. And then just your bank information, which is literally where they're going to supposedly wire you this money within a couple of days. And once you're finished with that, then it just sends you a summary page that you kind of just verify, and then you submit it, and then you check your bank account in a few days, and there might be $10,000 there. So definitely look into this if you think there is any chance that you are eligible for this. You know, this would just be a massive loss to ignore this, as I kind of honestly was just assuming that this wouldn't apply to me in any way whatsoever, given the situation that I'm in. And I will do my best to stay on top of whatever's going on with the PPP next. I may do a video on that, though I feel even a little bit more confused about that one than this one, to be honest, but we'll see what happens as it gets cleared up and as it actually gets opened in the next couple of days. But I hope this video was helpful to you. Again, the link to that is in the description below. Definitely get your application in ASAP. If you're new here, definitely subscribe to this channel for more videos about entrepreneurship, online business, things like that, and check out the past videos as well. Leave a comment on this video. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, as well as smashing the like button. Those things absolutely do help potentially showing my videos out to new faces, which would be hugely appreciated. Feel free to also follow me on Instagram at Matt Loberstein, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and take care. See you soon.